Man, it's so crazy. I got to figure out why it's not streaming for me. All right, Matt. Every now and then, you get a chance to chop it up with one of your friends in the world that you actually like, somebody that hustles hard every single fucking day, the king of the all access pass, literally the maker of the creator of the greatest all access passes ever made by man. Matt, okay.
I did not every day. I do take a day off here and
We all got to take a day off. You got to recharge. You got to rest. Hey, you guys got to take a break today. I'm working right now. It's interesting when you got 4 security guard dogs that protect your life every second of the day. They tend to like go a little DEFCON 5, even if the Amazon driver gets here.
Yeah, we have a new kitten who is just a menace, just running around everywhere. And then we dog sat for a friend's dog who was just high energy all the time, and needing attention. So
where's the kitten? Go get the kitten. We gotta need a cameo.
The kitten's upstairs. He actually hasn't come downstairs yet, but the other cat we have, she might make an appearance.
It's funny. I think cats inherently don't need human beings.
Yeah.
They live their lives like, I'll get to you humans when I feel like it.
Yeah.
Dogs,
one of them acts like a dog and wants attention, but the other ones, I mean, they'll go outside and just sit in the sun and enjoy life.
I'll be honest with you. My dog, my big guy, loves sunbathing, and there's this neighborhood cat, just a fucking hardcore cat, and she just likes to fuck with him by walking on the top of my fence, like it's made out of a brick, and my fence is like exactly 6 feet high, and my dog at his peak can get his toenails right up to the 6 foot level. That cat is the bravest fucking cat of all cats.
Yeah.
He sits there. I don't know if it's a he or she. He sits there and he literally lets my 120-pound cane Corso Truckle Lab bark vehemently inches away from his body, and he doesn't twitch. Yeah. Now that's what I call bravery.
They have that characteristic, and something comes by, they're hissing at it. They don't care whether it's an alligator or a little squirrel. So,
well, the funny thing is, I think inherently cats have the greatest understanding of their threat levels. Like, I think cats are inherently smart when it comes to their surroundings. Like, I think that cat actually knows my dog can't get to him because he just can't get any higher.
And they might be fast enough to get away, even if it can. So
he is fast. I mean, the funny thing is, one day at night, it was like, I want to say like 1 or 2 in the morning, a couple of weeks ago, my little guy goes outside. And every now and then at night, he'll go outside and he'll just bark, and then he'll stop because maybe somebody's pulling up a car. I hear all this calamity out in the backyard. And like then my little guy's got backup. He's got his mother, the Pomeranian, and his sister. And they're all 3 out there, and there's calamity. Like, I hear stuff banging around, calamity. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It's like 1 in the morning. So I go out there, and what is going on? That fucking great cat somehow fell down or came into our yard, and Theo, my little guy, is chasing him around in circles, and the cat's like barely keeping away from him. And then the Pomeranian and his sister came out there to give him backup, and this cat single-handedly is avoiding all 3 of my dogs. He literally was like the greatest running back of all time. He was making moves. Like, it was hilarious.
Impressive.
Oh my God. And then finally he got up back up on the fence, and he was like, he's like, you can't touch me. You got nothing on me, you 3 animals.
Had enough of that.
So I had a chance yesterday to interview your buddy, Evan, the king of meat.
Yeah, Secretary of State.
Secretary of State. What'd you think about the interview?
I thought it was great. And he's got a lot of good stories about stuff that he's done that didn't even talk about. Trips to Cuba that he's done. He's done some stuff in New Jersey, and just raising a lot of awareness and money for great charities. Down here in Florida, he's lucky he's got a lot of people who are, supportive, and they have a lot of money. I'm not one of those people who has a lot of money, so I get to events here and there.
Not a lot of money yet.
Come on, not a lot of money yet.
You're on the cusp of it.
It's fun to watch people who want to, do good and help other people. And I think he makes it fun and entertaining in the sense that you don't just feel like you're giving money and not getting anything back, which it sounds selfish, but in a lot of ways, I'm sort of like, I don't want to just give you money, because I don't know what you're going to do with it sometimes with some of these organizations. But if you get something back, a dinner, drinks, entertainment, a show, you almost don't care. I don't mean in a bad way, but it's not as important what they do with the money, and you don't feel like you're just giving money to someone. So, and all the while still you're making, you're raising good amount of money for people, doing real good. He's done stuff for Thanksgiving where you give meals to families, like, $50. People donate $50. I think it feeds three or four families. I don't remember what the number is, but he's it's fun. Some fun events. We did an arm wrestling event that I was at. I've actually never been to the boxing, which I'm hoping to get to into this month. And then incidentally, I'll actually be in Vegas for the sports licensing and tailgate show, as they're going to be in Vegas for the Red Meat Lovers. So I don't know that I'll get to any of their events.
I wanted to share with you, I just got my pass for that show. It's unbelievable. Did you get one of these?
I have one of those, but I don't know that it's not for that show, but it's a hell of a pass.
So you and I got a chance to meet, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago when the Super Bowl was in Vegas.
Super Bowl Vegas, yeah.
And in that time frame, we've not only done some business together, but we've gotten to know each other as friends. And I want to tell you about 3 things that I've learned about you in 2 years. You're a high character individual, and I want to see you do well. I think in the world today, people have to do business with people they like, not because the best price, not because things are cheap or whatever. You want cheap shit, just buy it from fucking China. But when you find somebody that you see that is high character, I think as individuals, as business people, as a business community, people should go out of their way to help that person level up, because that person is going to grow into a great person, a great leader. And you want to see those people be successful, because when great people and good high character individuals get money, they do good things with their life, but they also do good things with the lives of those around them.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I agree.
Why would you disagree? I
agree. I look at it that way, but it's interesting because my whole life I didn't want to go into sales. My dad told me, go into sales, that's where the money's at. And I said, well, look, I don't want to be pushy or phony or whatever. And late in life, I got into sales, and I was pretty successful early on. But I realized that you don't have to be pushy and phony to do well in sales, but you can be pushy and phony and do well in sales. So, you don't have to have high character to do well in business and be liked, or not necessarily liked or respected or trusted or whatever. But that's the way I'm going to do it. And I appreciate the people who do it that way, because I see there's a lot of people who don't understand that they needed help at the beginning to get where they are today, and, pay it forward sort of things, because it's the right thing to do, because, not just because someone helps you. So, it's very important to me. I don't want to say I care about what people think about me, but it's important that they understand that I mean well, and I want to do good and help. And those who don't have that opinion of me, I think unfortunately they got it, in the wrong context. But I'm going to be that way always. It doesn't matter how successful I am, and I aim to be with people who are like that. But you know what? You have to work with people you don't like, and people who are phony, and people who
actually, I got to disagree with you. No, you don't.
I think I do. You know what? I'd like to get to the point where I don't. I definitely have morals, and I'm going to break.
It's hard to say no to business of any kind, but I've literally told people to go fuck themselves, and maybe it's because I've had success in parts of my life where I can do that. But I got to tell you, I'm really not kidding. When you tell certain people that are just toxic or bad, or just that they're a bad client, to go fuck themselves,
I agree with that.
Yourself,
I'm talking about just
cleans your roster.
I'm just talking about people who just might not be your type of people, or not good, or they don't do this or they don't do that. But you know, and that doesn't make them a bad person. It just might make them a bad.
Sometimes it does.
It could make him a bad person, but there's something interesting that I talk to people about is I could say this person is not a good person, but that doesn't mean they're a bad person. There's area in between. It's not either you're good or bad.
Okay, wait a second. There's good, there's bad. What's in between? Purgatory?
It's kind of just there. I mean, you're just kind of like, you're not good, you're not bad, neutral. I don't know. It's more of like someone who's not doing good things.
Bad, there's neutral. Where do you draw the line? Do you draw the line at bad?
No, I mean, I think, look, there's a difference between being a good person and generally being a good person and someone who does good things. You know, are some very bad people who do some good things for some people. So, there's people who have the opinion of those people is not the same as maybe everyone else. You know, where do I draw the line? I try not to really judge too much, but if you ask me my opinion about something or someone, I can give it to you. But I don't go around thinking,
"Oh, that's good." What's your opinion of me?
Well, I like you. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking to you. But look, I think, and I said this about someone else who was a friend of mine who got very offended, and it feels like our relationship has changed. I said it on a podcast. I said he's an acquired taste. You know, it's not for everybody, and I know that you understand that you're not for everybody, and your personality and all of that.
Well, here's the thing. You don't have to be for everybody.
No, I know that.
The only person you have to look in the mirror every single day and really, really appreciate is yourself. You got to literally look at yourself every day and say, do I like that guy? Is that the guy that I want to be?
Well, that's how I operate. I mean, I try and don't do things that I can't look myself in the mirror and talk about it. It used to be like, don't do things that you wouldn't tell your parents. You know, not that you have to tell them, but you wouldn't be like embarrassed if you were to tell them or if someone was to find out. So it's tough. I think, you know, I've done some bad things in my life. I've been not so nice to some people. I don't think it's at a huge scale, but no one's perfect. So I just try and do. Anderson Cooper on the New Year's Eve, he just said his goal is just to be a better person every day, and that's what I'm trying to do. I think I've done a good job. If you ask people, but there's always room for improvement. So, and that's for myself and for others.
Now, by the way, this is going to shock you. This is probably going to blow your mind. I haven't always been a perfect angel either.
Close. All right. Sure, it's close.
So let me ask you a question. What are your top 3 passes that you've ever done? Like, and if you've got them laying around, that'd be cool as fuck.
I do have some passes. This was really the first, like one of the first ones that I got to do.
Closer.
This one here is for the Florida Panthers playoff run.
Oh, wait a second. Wait, what are you doing, man? Go to the other one. What is that? What is that? A ghost or something?
That's a panther.
Yeah, that looks good.
A panther, and this was a former player, Huberdeau. So that was really the first one that we did.
I would say that, just so you know, that would have looked better if it was against a lighter background because it was hard to see because everything was black and red.
And then I did some stuff. You know, I did something for the Gators that we've done. This is something cool that we did for the Savannah Bananas. So
what's that? What is that? 2024 member? What is that? Pass or something?
Club. It's a K Club pass, yeah. And
what did that get them? What did that get them into?
Well, it's the K Club is the exclusive pass that they have that gives you just access to certain things at the event, and just it's more of just a badge of pride, and people like to show. And we've done some other cool passes.
This is going to shock you, but some people collect your passes.
Yeah, no, I love it. This is another one we did for the first ever game for the Utah Hockey Club.
What are they called now? Do they have a name yet?
Now they're called the Mammoths. And I collect. I got boxes, and I got to try and find a
I'll be
good
honest,
way.
that's a horrible hockey name. What is a mammoth? Like I could get polar bear. Mammoths were elephants with big
I
tusks.
think it might be maybe from the woolly mammoths. Maybe it's a Utah.
That's
I don't really
a
know.
terrible name for a hockey team. Mammoths can't skate. Maybe they could play goalie, but they can't skate. They got no skills. Huh?
Panthers can't skate either, and we won back-to-back Stanley Cups, so I don't know.
I mean, a panther could skate. What are you talking about? You ever see a cat? You could throw a cat on the ice, and it would land perfectly on his skates.
Yeah.
Like a panther, if it could skate, first of all, if it's coming down the middle of the ice at the goalie, who's going to take and check the body on a panther? You'd get clawed to death. He'd bite you in the neck. You'd be dead. Nobody's going to check him.
And to answer your question, the other passes that you and I have done together,
you got to admit, those are some good ones, man.
They came out very good. We've done a good job of having the images and the artwork and the design that really pop. We've done some stuff. I'll be honest. We did this right here. This is you can barely see anything moving here.
Yeah,
This is an animated. So sometimes it's just. Sometimes it's not going to, and we sort of try and tell them, but you can see like there's real movement in here.
Yeah, that was good. In fact, the model that we used for that one in particular, we should have paid that model some serious money. I mean, that was a good-looking man back there.
I think you're able. You can still do that if you wanted to.
That is true.
That's up to you.
All right, so you got a lot of stuff going on around Super Bowl. And for the last couple of Super Bowls, and even including the NFL draft, like you just showed a couple of them from the NFL draft. I've been there 2 years in a row now. You've literally been a part of these events with your passes. How does that feel for your brand? How does that feel for your company? When you show that to people, do you feel a little pride? Hey, this was at the Super Bowl. This was at the draft.
Yeah, I always, you definitely feel pride to share with people who you've worked with that they might have heard of. But seeing someone, and I've been able to do that at a bunch of parties and events and Super Bowl and Bananas games and Panther games, to see someone who's walking around with your badge when you're at that event or game, it's really cool. And I've walked up to people and say, hey, can I take a picture? They probably think I'm wearing, like, can I take a picture of you? You're wearing my badge. But I posted the other day that we're not a household name yet, but that's what we aim to be. The household name with anyone who's got the badges and
you think Chris Champion became a household name overnight?
No, it takes time, but it is. If I'm being honest, it's taken longer for me to get it higher and more success than I thought it would, because you have these conversations, you get all jacked up and excited about it, and then you don't hear from the person.
Well, can I tell you something? I think you're missing something in your business, and I'll tell you what. You should create a website where people can collect and trade these collectible passes. I think you're missing the boat on that. I think it's a very easy thing to do, and you would ultimately become a secondary market for collectible passes, and people inherently are keeping these passes and as memory items, as memories of events that they went to.
So there's a site on Facebook called Booger Stubs that
booger, like as in boogers.
Yeah, they do sharing and mostly buying and selling. There is some trading of tickets. It's basically just tickets, and people collect every Brett Favre touchdown or Aaron Judge home runs. So,
by the way, shout out to Brett Favre. He's having a rough time with Parkinson's, and I really.
My father had Parkinson's, so I know what it can do. It's one of those diseases that you don't like to compare diseases. You don't feel like, hey, it's not cancer, ALS, but it is very freezing to what when your body can't do what your brain is telling it to do, or you can't prevent it from it can mess up your world. So I'm hoping Michael J. Fox done some great things in the area, and I'm hoping at some point they'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah, I really do hope they do, because it's tough. we're doing something this year to honor legends of the game at Lee Steinberg's Super Bowl party. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we're working on a badge and a champion coin. And actually, do you have the Aoki coin that we did?
I sure do.
Yeah, I have it here. So I just didn't want to get up. So we're going to do a coin that is really, I mean, that thing is so thick. It's crazy. You got to put it in front of your face.
Oh, by the way, let me give you a little tip. The fact that it was heavy and thick was a win. People like it.
I get it.
They like it because it's got some mustard to it.
Yeah, so that was for the Aoki Foundation, an event that you did with them.
Did you show this to anyone else, by the way? Have you gotten feedback from other people?
Yeah, people like it. I even showed it to someone who was doing something for their employees. So we're working on doing some type of keepsake for employees, possibly. But it's always good to honor the legends of the game, especially at the Super Bowl week and the Lee Steinberg party. I think they're in 37th or 38th year of doing it. I've been to about 4 or 5 or 3 or 4 of them, and it's a great event. It's what I like about the Steinberg party is it's good for partying if you want to, and good for networking. There's a lot of Super Bowl events that are parties. They're kind of just parties. They're events to go to, and it's not networking. I go out to the Super Bowl week to do a lot of networking, to meet with people and meet new people. So stuff like the Shaq's Funhouse and the Maxim party and the SI party, those are parties, right? But Lee Steinberg has a little bit of all. Another good networking party is the Players Impact. That's where I met you at in Vegas. That was it was a little loud in there, but the food was great. The drinks were good. The people were good.
Rest in peace to Emmett Smith's restaurant. That was a great restaurant.
Yeah, the food was excellent that day.
Oh, that chef was unbelievable.
Front Office Sports does an event called the Breakfast Ball, which is a very good networking event.
Oh, I like Front Office Sports. I like those guys.
Invite only. It's going to be on a golf course, so it's sort of like a pro-am with some pros playing golf, and they'll be in and out for you to interact and see, and maybe. But good networking there. Great event. Good food. They had what they have. What's the chicken place that everyone's crazy about?
Tell me how fucking beautiful this is. 3 inches in diameter, thick, made out of brass, titanium, whatever they make it out of.
Yeah, 5 millimeter thickness.
I mean, tell me this is not beautiful.
It's not beautiful.
No, it's gorgeous, man.
You just told me to tell you it's not beautiful. So
I know
it's not beautiful.
Tell people about this coin.
I just got to get my face on there somehow.
I mean, you are a legend, but not.
I could be the guy with the helmet on that nobody knows it's him.
So let me give you some of the names that we're honoring this year as legends of the game and life. And by the way, it's the game and life. So this year we're honoring Brett Favre, Lee Steinberg, Tom Brady, Walter Payton, Terry Bradshaw, Barry Sanders, Lawrence Taylor, Mike Ditka, Mike Singletary, Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Steve Young, Nick Lowry, Warwick Dunn, Dan Fleischman, who's done unbelievably unselfish things for children every Christmas, gave away over 250,000 toys this year. Elon Musk, probably the greatest human ever to live. Scott Adams, the creator and author of Dilbert, who's been an unbelievable human being with his life. And then let's not forget Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time basketball player, and Aaron Rodgers. We got to give it to Aaron. He's just had a great career, and there's no doubt he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's a hell of a list. I got to meet Mike Ditka. I've gone to some Gridiron Greats events and the Ditka party when it first started. Not when it first started, when I first started to go in events, and he's not doing well at all. So wishing him health this year, and hopefully he can, get well.
Yeah, no, I love Mike. I got a chance to get to know him when I lived in Chicago when he was younger and had a little piss and vinegar in his system. And I got to
get Jim McMahon. You would love Jim McMahon. He seems
I love Jim. I love Jim a lot. I've gotten a chance to meet him a couple of times. And I got to tell you, Mike sat me down. We had dinner at his restaurant. He ordered a pork chop. As much as he loved to brag about those pork chops, and they were thick and they looked delicious, I don't like pork chop as much as I like a good ribeye.
Yeah.
So I got a tomahawk ribeye, and it was me, him in this private room and 2 other guys. And he sat next to me. I got a chance to eat dinner with him for 2.5 hours that night. And he told me 3 things that I remembered from that meal that have stuck with me. He said, you'll never regret saying something that you thought, no matter how many people criticize you for it. So speak your mind. That was one thing. And I said, all right, I like that.
So I think one of the things that I really enjoy about having my own business is that I can pretty much say whatever it is I want to. There's consequences for it, but it's not internal consequences. It's external consequences.
I couldn't agree with you more. I've been that way. I've been an entrepreneur since I was literally 18 years old. And one of the things, while being an entrepreneur requires you to be disciplined and work hard, you got to do that even if you work for somebody else. But the benefit that I have is I can post whatever the fuck I want on social media. I can speak my mind anywhere the fuck I want. And whatever somebody wants to criticize me for, I don't give a fuck what they say.
No, that's number one. Go get number 2.
So the other 2 things that he told me is you will always get rewarded for the things you do when nobody is looking. Now, if you think about that, it kind of was deep at the time, but he reminded me that all the things that he did well as a player and as a coach, he benefited from those things by doing things when nobody was looking. He would practice at night catching footballs. Not that they played football at night back then when he played, because they didn't. It was almost always a daylight game. But he practiced at night because it was so hard to see the ball that he had to learn how to grab it with a second's notice. And his ability to grab the football tightly when he saw it got better from practicing at night in the dark. And he told me that story, and it stuck with me. You will always get rewarded for the things that people don't see you doing. And it's true. You really, when people go, oh my God, Chris, this is unbelievable. You're unbelievable. Well, whatever that compliment is, it came from me doing things when nobody was looking. And then the third thing he told me is treat people fairly. Don't be too nice to them because they'll probably take advantage of you. Don't be not nice enough to them because you're taking advantage of them. He gave me an example. Whenever he saw a fan or a kid coming into this restaurant and they wanted to shake his hand, even though he had horrible arthritis, he gave him his hand. He said, I'm going to give that fan my hand, and I'm just going to do that thing for them because that's what they want me to do, and that's the least I can do.
Yeah, it's such a small gesture, but you don't need to understand what that might mean to someone. You and I have been around a lot of celebrities, so we don't necessarily get as starstruck anymore, though there are still some that I would be probably starstruck from. But, a kid to meet someone like Mike Ditka or Brady and for them to have a bad experience with them. And it happens. And it's not always because that person's not a nice person. They could be in a rush or whatever. But the people who, I see people who take time and make sure they sign for everyone that they can, and they shake hands and they take a photo. I have a lot of respect for those people.
Absolutely. And Mike was always known and is always known as being a fan of the people. He was the coach of the people. People loved him. And that was the thing that those 3 things stood out to me from having dinner. And here's the crazy thing. He didn't owe me that dinner. We weren't lifelong friends. He did that because I made him laugh at a couple of things. And he just liked me. And he literally said, come have dinner with me. I'd love to just sit down with you. He asked me to come have dinner with him. And I thought to myself,
at the end of the day, they're regular people who.
Well, not everybody.
No, I know, but most of these people are regular. It's what they choose, how they choose to do it. But if it's not you, it's someone else. They're probably asking to go to dinner. It could be a friend, it could be a celebrity, but they're doing the same stuff that we're doing. They're going out to dinner.
They are, but a lot of celebrities like to be alone. They like to not have the people.
I get that. I understand that. I personally, if I ever had that, or if I was that, I just would understand that it sort of comes with the territory, and it's one of the things that, look, it's just part of what's going to be, and your rewards are way, way greater than whatever hardship you have to go through with, if you want to call it that, shaking someone's hand, taking a photo, having an autograph,
Well,
sitting.
the thing with Mike too is when he shook people's hands, if you didn't know him, people like gave him a nice good grip, and it hurt his knuckles like crazy. Like he had horrible arthritis back then. He probably has it now even worse. And it was painful for him sometimes to get a handshake. And sometimes he would just pat people on the back. And if you looked at his hands, they were swollen. The knuckles were all swollen and the fingers went in different directions. And for him to do that on any level, I had mad respect for that. And that's one of the things that I truly believe makes him a legend, because he literally was a legend to the people. He never got too far above the average person. He really understood that he was just part of the community. He was part of civilization.
Yeah, he's an all-time great.
Talk a little bit about collectibles. You really are in the space of collectibles. I know it's Ticket Time Machine, but I really believe that in the 2 years you and I have had a chance, and actually mostly you. What the fuck?
I just had to grab something while we're chatting. Get the coin off the screen. It's gotten enough airtime.
It's gotten okay. There goes the coin. All right, coin, you're out of here. We got to do a back to the coin. We got to get the coin, give the coin a back.
So these are the first sports collectibles that I ever had.
What are they?
This is a little figure of a Bronco, and this
is that a monkey or something?
No, it's a Bronco.
Push that thing to the camera. I can't see it.
Denver Broncos. It's a Bronco.
Wow, I can see it. They put a helmet on a fucking horse's head.
He's a Bronco, a Denver Bronco, and then this is John Elway. A little, doesn't look like him, but I think this was from a bar mitzvah I went to. Maybe I'm trying to think.
What's that thing under his? Is that his chin strap?
Yeah,
or is
it's like a chin strap. So those were the first collectibles, and I collect a lot of things that some people would call junk, but I have. If you could see what's here, I have a wall of beer cans, stuff I got from the Field of Dreams game, stuff I got from a Super Bowl, stuff from just from music festivals, and what stuff I got when I was traveling internationally, and hats. And so I collectibles is a very broad term, but I collect a lot of things, and sports, entertainment, pop culture, music, movies, cool food items or drinks. And
so answer me this. Why do people collect things like the Legend coin or like the All Access passes?
Well, there's a few reasons why I collect stuff, because I think it's cool and it's a memory for me. And some of it does have value, but there are certain things that people collect because it has value, and they think it's going to increase in that value. And so we sort of went. The best example I could give is the card industry. It used to be a hobby where you collect cards. Now it's not. It's investment. It's gambling. It's speculation. So it's really hard to call. I don't know that I consider that in the same way that I used to, because I collected cards, but I don't anymore. I buy a few boxes here and there. It's become largely unaffordable to the average person. So I think there's a couple segments, whether you want to collect it because it means something to you, and I would never sell it because it doesn't, like, it's not life-changing money. It just means too much to me that I wouldn't sell it. I mean, if someone offered me $100 for this, I'd tell them no. Now, this thing's probably worth.
If they offered you $10,000, what would you say?
I might say no. I don't know. It's all, those questions are hard to answer unless if someone was physically doing it. But this is like literally, I don't know. It's just a thing. The other side of it is it's just a thing. I still have the memory. I know I was a Broncos fan. I still have this thing and all the other Broncos stuff that I have. So, but I mean, no one's going to offer me $10,000 for it. Even like signed baseballs I have from Jackie Robinson that my dad gave me, who's no longer with us. It's like, again, you offer me $3,000 for that. It's probably a good deal, but I'm not going to take it. It's just not life-changing for me. And I'm not even sure what I'm going to do with it. And it's all these things. And I don't want possessions to be that big of a thing. But to me, it's a memory, it's a feeling you get, and it's more important than a lot of the other stuff that I have. There's a lot more stuff I'd get rid of before any of this. And, being a big sports and entertainment fan, I have all this stuff. And now I'm in the sports and entertainment world with regards to events. So what we try and do is we want to have stuff that people want to keep, like an all access pass. Now, you make this stuff because you think it's awesome and you want people to collect.
Oh, here, I got to tell you why I don't make any of this stuff. I just give you some assets and you make it. You're the creator. But I got to tell you something. I literally got to tell you something. And I kind of told you the other day. These all access passes actually have been the greatest investment I've ever made. And I'll tell you 3 reasons why. Number one, when people wear the all access passes, especially at Super Bowl week, they literally carry my brand all over the place. Yeah. And I'm not kidding you. I'm literally not joking. Especially at the draft, I had people literally bragging about how nice the pass was. They were literally keeping them and they were just bragging about them.
Yeah, it's a talking piece. And so when you have it and it's your brand, it's like the same with mine. And that's why I try and talk to the teams and leagues and events and say, get a sponsor to put on that, because that's who they're going to be talking to.
You don't even fuck the sponsors. If you're just a smart businessman, it's a great marketing tool.
Yeah. Well, tell that to everyone else.
I mean, that's what we're doing.
No, I agree with you. And that's why I try and
we're just telling everybody.
Because we could do regular, run of the mill badges that are still very nice, but it's not the same.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. The run of the mill badges that are very nice, here's your cost. The world-class fucking collector's items, holographic passes are like here. They're like a little bit more.
It's not that much of a difference.
Exactly. And I always tell people, sure, you're spending a little more, but guess what? You're getting huge value. Like the example I just gave you where people walk around with pride with my brand around their neck, that's one value proposition. The second value proposition is I've got friends of mine's kids that literally drive me cuckoo now and ask me to send them every time I come up with a new sports badge. Now, you call them badges, I call them all access passes. I got friends of mine kids that literally are begging me right now for the Legends Live pass for this year's Super Bowl. Now, granted, they're going to be sorely disappointed when they see the face on this year's pass is not a famous celebrity player. And by the way, now that I think about it, I really want to reach out and do something for Brett Favre. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about getting his face on there because his team's kind of weird about that. But the more I think about it, we got to do something really special for Parkinson's. And maybe it doesn't help change Brett's trajectory, but the more I see how Parkinson's really steals your soul, the more it makes me want to help people overcome that. And the more I hear my 120-pound Cane Corso barking at the Amazon driver that's ready to attack our home, the more I realize if that guy gets any closer to my door, my dog's going to kill him.
Yeah, we don't want that. We worked on some Favre stuff. I think it was for last year, but never got approval on it. So we went with the Nick Lowry.
And by the way, that was a super popular one. People love that because they just love Nick. Nick's a very lovable, down-to-earth human being. So talk about this year's Super Bowl. We're doing an 8-hour live stream podcast from Lee's event on the 7th. But there's a myriad of other events. Let's check that one out. Oh, yeah, that's gorgeous.
I like the signature on it.
I was just going to say, the thing that you did that everyone talks to me about is the signature. I think there's like 3 layers to that signature, right?
2, but yeah.
For some reason, it looked like there were 3. Anyways, that was super popular. And here's the thing. You got Super Bowl coming up in like 30 days. Talk a little bit about your schedule and plans for this year's Super Bowl.
Well, it's a little up in the air because I'm waiting to see what type of media access I get. But for the last 2 or 3 years, I've worked with Florida National News and gotten access to opening night where I get to walk around and ask the players questions. And I try and ask some pretty funny, relevant questions, not like technical questions that they've probably been asked 100 times and will be asked again. So, asking Patrick which is better, barbecue, Texas or Kansas City, because he played college in Texas.
Let's be honest. Texas makes better brisket, but Kansas City makes better barbecue sauce, hands down.
I'm
Hands
not
down.
a sauce guy, so for me, I'm a rub, no sauce.
So what's rub? What's that?
Just seasoning.
No,
No
I know
sauce.
what that is, but that's Kansas City, right?
No, rub is just whatever seasoning you put different types of rubs on meat. It's just it's just seasoning, but they call it rub.
Well, I like the thick. I like the thick Kansas City sauce.
That's a good.
Thick
That's
sweet.
good.
So
I'm hoping to do media row where you get to see all the big names going and talking to the big shows. That got to meet Gronk last year, and then the Players Impact, which is Tracy DeForge, and has a great networking where she brings companies up who pitch to athletes and try and get some funds raised for that, and the Steinberg Party, and there's just a lot of good events. It's hard to explain. It's important to be there. It just feels important to be there, and it's good to be there, and there's a lot of value in being there.
I tell people, listen, Super Bowl week is the greatest week of networking you will ever have in your life. Every single year, brands are there, influencers are there, athletes are there, high value individuals are there. It is literally the right place to be at the right time.
Yeah. And a lot of it's who but there's a lot of stuff you can get into. It's not that difficult to get into. And even just walking around hotels and lobbies and around the convention center and the media, you'll run into people that, you get to meet, whether they're famous or not. And, if you brand yourself well, like walk around with a Ticket Time Machine shirt or a T-bone hat, get yourself, it's very easy to bring attention to yourself.
So Matt, this year at Media Day, I want you to be an official representative of the Omaha Steak Sports Network, and I want you to wear the T-bone hat.
I can definitely wear a T-bone hat.
I need you to go around asking players what's their favorite steak.
Yeah, I can do that. I got to see how that affects Florida National News, because they're my loyalties to them. They've been very good to me.
So answer me this: how viral do you think it's going to go when we start walking around asking people what their favorite steak is with that bad?
I think there's a good, I like those kind of questions. That's my kind of question. By the way, ribeye is my favorite. I know Evan said his was ribeye. I like ribeye. To me, it's the edible fat of it.
Well, you know why ribeye is the best part of the cow, right?
No.
Because it's the closest to the heart. It gets all the blood. It gets all the oxygen. It is literally the highest in protein. It is the best part of the cow.
I will say I'll make some people cringe. I don't put ketchup on steak, but I do like it cooked more than most people would say.
Well, I don't give a fuck how you cook it. I'll be honest with you. I like my shit like medium well, but definitely not pink. Like when somebody gets a steak and it's bleeding pink in the middle, I'm like, dude, cook that shit a little bit.
I think it depends on what cut, but yeah, I agree with you.
And I like grill marks. I like a little bit of grill marks. I want a little bit of
but Burger King hamburgers have grill marks. So.
And by the way, my guy over at Barry's Prime, it's a steakhouse here in Vegas. They have 3 different types of sauces. They have the Béarnaise sauce they give you. They give you this in-house steak sauce, and then they give you this like a cross between barbecue and teriyaki sweet sauce. Now I'm not a big fan for the sweet sauce, even though I like it a little bit. The Béarnaise, for some reason, there's something good about Béarnaise and really well done ribeye. It's really good.
I don't use sauce the same way I don't for barbecue, but if you have a interesting sauce, I'll try it and put it on there.
Well, I got to tell you what else I like. I have done a couple of events over at Fogo de Chao, the meat on the stick place. They have this chimichurri. They could give me a fucking gallon of that shit in a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket. I would take it home and I would eat it all. I don't know what it is, but you put good chimichurri on a steak, it's delicious.
Yeah, that's a good sauce, good seasoning.
I don't know if you call it a sauce. I would call it more of a seasoning.
Yeah, I agree. The those places are great, especially the lamb. I never thought I would like.
Make lamb as good as they make it.
I never thought I'd like heated pineapple, like hot pineapple, like grilled pineapple, but it's so good.
It is incredibly good. You know what else is good? And Fogo de Chao really undersells this a lot. That salad vegetable bar, fucking world class.
Yeah, it's good. They want you to eat as much of that so you eat sort of less meats. But I go to a place called Shima down here. I think it's local on Las Olas and in Broward, but it's very similar. That used to be my birthday dinner. I didn't get to go last year, and this year is my 50th, so I don't think I'll go there.
Well, I'll tell you this: before I go to Fogo de Chao, I do a solid 48-hour fast.
Really?
So when I hit that place, I hit it like a fucking hungry.
I feel like there's a number of too long that you get so hungry that you'll get full fast. 48 seems like a lot.
No, I got to tell you. So here's the thing. When I do that fast, I know I got my stomach at like maximum capacity. But when I eat, I don't eat fast. Like I don't know how people do the whole eat like a,
I could do that.
Yeah. I've never understood like the fast eating guys, the guys that eat like the 48 hot dogs. That stuff makes me sick. If I ever fucking ate that fast, I'd be like throwing up all over the place. But when you just eat to enjoy the meat and you got that extra storage that you haven't had for a while, you got that cleared out room in the house where you can fill it up with boxes. When I'm eating like that at Fogo and the guy comes by, sir, are you done? I'm like, fuck no, I'm not. Get me some more.
Don't you see the green light on my table? It's not red.
I never turn that fucker over. Like, they're like, you sure you don't want to turn that over to red? No. Bring me more.
Come over. If it's green and I don't want it, I say no.
Yeah, I got to tell you, they're lamb. And then here's the thing. I don't know if you know this, but if you ask for it at Fogo, they have ribeye on the fucking sword.
Really?
They give you ribeye.
I like that.
Yeah, at least the one here in Vegas. Like when I used to, they're like, oh, you have to ask for it. I'm like, oh.
It's just weird, like how some things you can make really good yourself and some things like you can't replicate. Chicken wings is something you get like a really good chicken wing out at a restaurant. I make chicken wings. They're good. They're nowhere near what some of these.
Okay, buddy, I got to teach you a trick. You're going to die. You're going to love this. When you get a chance, go to like Sam's Club and buy drumsticks, not chicken wings, drumsticks. Drumsticks.
Yeah.
When you get home, take the drumstick and get the fat and push it down and make it like, more like, fat. But I'm talking like a leg, like a big leg drumstick. And make those however you make your chicken wings normally. And when you're done cooking them and seasoning them and doing all the shit to them, split them down the side on one end and flap them out. I'm not kidding you. I know it's not a chicken wing, but you can call it a chicken wing. I call it like, just a drumstick wing, whatever you want to call it. But it's a lot more meatier. And I'm telling you, like, there's not enough on the chicken wing. I need the drumsticks.
Yeah, well, I eat a lot of chicken wings. But stuff like duck, we made some good duck and it's good, but
see, duck's hard to make. Like it's just a sensitive piece of meat.
Yeah. I like that stuff. I like getting stuff that I can't make I'll never order a piece of salmon when I'm out at a restaurant unless it's raw.
Well, I love salmon. You know what I love? Have you ever had miso glazed salmon?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Aldi has the best salmon. It's every time.
I'll be honest with you. Sam's Club's my go-to, man.
Sam's Club is good too. I'm not a member of Sam's Club, so.
Well, you got Costco.
Costco's got good salmon too, but I go to Aldi.
Costco, they're both basically the same. The butchers there, man, they just do it right.
Well, if you had to eat one food for let's say 3 months, and that's all you can do, what would it be? And I'm talking breakfast, lunch, dinner, all you can eat.
Sushi.
Literally,
I'll give you an example. I was down in the Philippines with a friend of mine on an island, Boracay Island. He was a chef at a resort there. And every morning he would go out and literally walk out to the ocean with a spear and catch tuna. And literally we ate tuna and all kinds of fish. And he made with tuna and rice, tuna and sushi, miso glazed tuna. Like we had tuna so many different ways. And I literally ate basically sushi every single day.
Yes, sushi would be on my list, but I think I'm a chicken wing tender guy.
I get it, but sushi you can mix it up. You can add
you can make it a lot of different ways.
Yeah,
the other thing I asked my friend was if you had to choose between, look, you can eat anything you want and it's not going to affect your health at all, but you have to pay for it, or you can eat if you eat for free, but it all has to be stuff that's deemed very healthy. Which would you choose?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
I mean, as I've gotten older now, I've learned that I gotta watch what I put into my body, and I gotta make sure that what I'm eating, I'm feeding my body fuel.
No, what I'm telling you is it doesn't matter what you eat. It's not bad for you. It's good for you.
Okay.
So a cheeseburger, bacon cheeseburger, triple cheeseburger, it's not. It's like eating a piece of lettuce, but you have to pay for it. It's so much cheaper to. I mean, I would choose that. The people who like really healthy lifestyles would be like, yeah, give me the free food. I'd like to eat that tofu and fall meat.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I like good tofu every now and then, but that whole Beyond Meat stuff, I don't know what it does, but it makes me sick to my stomach. I tried it once, and now that I know what's in it, I'm like, I'm never fucking eating that shit again. Shout out to Bill Gates. You're a fucking idiot. So, all right. So listen, I like to end every podcast with something inspirational. You've been through the ringers. You've been an entrepreneur. Look in the camera and talk to one person right now that maybe is letting fear hold them back from chasing their dream. Maybe they're letting fear hold them back from starting their own business. Talk to them and tell them something inspirational on how you handle fear.
Yeah, just do it. I mean, there's so many times where I thought I can't do it, and so I didn't try, or I hit that first road bump, and I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do this, and it prevented me from really. When I, probably think we look at it like it's what's the saying, the molehill or mountain and molehill. Like you think it's so much harder and bigger obstacle than it probably is, and it's preventing you. And most of the time, people just can't get out of their own way. And that prevents you from doing great things. I mean, if I think of all the things that I wanted to do that I didn't do because I was either afraid or lazy or whatever that case may be, there's a lot of good stuff. I mean, my life would be very different. I'm not saying I would trade it, but it's interesting that way because that's the hardest part, just getting started and doing it. And they talk about podcasts. When I first started, someone said the average podcast is like 3 episodes. I'm on 300. Like people just start and they do a couple and then they stop. And you just got to keep being consistent and just do it. It's the greatest slogan of our lifetime. That and the golden rule. Very big golden rule guy. Do unto others as you want them to do to you. So it's sort of like you say, treat everybody fairly. Like I'm not asking anyone anything that I wouldn't offer in return.
He is Matt Wolf, a.k.a. Wolfie, a.k.a. the Ticket Time Machine Wolf, a.k.a. one of the best people I know.
Thanks. See you in Vegas.
See you before we see each other. Hold on one second, buddy.